Welcome back. In this segment of the Dragon Age toolset presentation, we're going to be talking about how we can add dialogue in the quest to our non-player character. The next thing we're going to do is we want to add some dialogue to our character, to our NPC. He has to, after all, give us a quest. We're going to go ahead and jump to the Conversation tab. And in this case, we're going to load up an existing conversation. Now we've gone ahead and preceded this with some lines. Let's go ahead and add a couple new lines just so you can see how quickly and easily you can add lines of dialogue to an NPC. Maybe one more just for me. Excellent. Maybe we can also show off how choices work. So once our NPC reads us that line, these are the choices that would appear at the bottom of the screen for us. So we kind of have a good choice, a wicked evil choice. Now in Dragon Age, there really isn't a concept of good and evil, so maybe we can add a third choice that's a little bit more appropriate. Very nice. All right, so the next thing we want to do is move that branch of dialogue that we just created and place it above the welcome line. The way that this is going to work when we attach this dialogue to our NPC is he's first going to read that Welcome PAX 2008 Attendees line. Within that branch of dialogue, it will assign the quest to us. And we're going to show that off in a second. The next thing that we're going to do is we want to make sure that the lines of dialogue that we've created will play after we've accepted our quest. The way that we're going to do that is we jump to the plot flags, the plot tab here at the bottom. And we're going to assign a plot script to this branch of dialogue. Now we're going to cover scripting and plots and how all of that is going to work in much more detail over the next couple weeks and months. But for our purposes here, we can just quickly jump to see what that looks like just to give you an idea. We'll open up our plot editor here. Now this plot, this quest, has three main states to it. The first one is when the quest has been accepted, and you can see that that's set as flag 0. At the bottom of the screen, you can see the journal entry. This is what would actually show up in our in-game journal text. The next plot flag, or the next state of our quest, is when we've actually killed all the creatures. And that's set to flag 1. Of course, there's an update to the journal at the bottom as well. Now this is when we've actually killed all the creatures in Team 1, which we kind of talked a little bit about when placing enemies. You'll recognize that and update that we've killed all those creatures. And the last one is when the quest is done. So all the creatures are killed. We go and talk to our quest giver. He recognizes it and rewards it, hopefully. Let's jump back to our conversation. So again, we've attached this plot, and the next thing we want to do is make sure that these lines of dialogue will only play when we've had our quest accepted. So let's go ahead and pick Quest Accepted. And we'll set this to true. So only when Quest Accepted is true will these lines of dialogue play. So what's going to happen is we'll get this attached, we'll talk to our NPC, our quest giver. He will assign the quest to us. He'll then recognize that the quest has been assigned, so the next time we click on him, he'll read our lines. At the top, you can now see the third set of lines, which is set to only appear once we've actually killed the creatures. And we'll be able to take a look at that as well. Let's go ahead and assign this conversation to our NPC. We'll go ahead and save. And the last thing that we want to do, of course, is we want to place our quest giver in the map. Let's go ahead and select him in the Creatures tab. And we'll put him on the map the same way that we did with our enemies and our objects. We'll go ahead and place him near that flag, just so it's easy for us to find him as soon as we jump into the map. Let's go ahead and save that, so you can see how quickly it is that we can add some dialogue to an NPC.